This is a presentation on the medical SSIC codes. It focuses on the instructions that are on the upcoming Chiefs exam, and I use it as a way to try to remember what instructions fall where, an easier way to try to remember the numbers and maybe give them a little bit of rhyme and reason instead of just trying to remember a bunch of random numbers. If you understand these, a lot of times you can get any test question within a 50-50 shot. If not, narrow it down to just one possible answer. So just starting with our SSI, our general SSIC codes. Well, we've got the 1000 series, and we know that any instruction that is in the 1000 series has to do with military personnel. We've got the 2000 series that has to do with telecommunications. We've got the 3000 series that has to do with operations and readiness. We've got the 4000 series, well, that involves logistics. We've got the 5000 series, that's going to be general administration. We've got the 6000 series that pertains to medicine and dentistry. We've got the 7000 series that's going to be pertaining to financial management. We've got the 8000 that has to do with ordnance. We've got the 9000 that has to do with ship's design. We've got the 10,000 series, that's general material. We've got the 11,000 series, that's facilities and activities. 12,000 civilian personnel, 13,000 aeronautical, and the 16,000 that has to do with Coast Guard missions. There's a lot of memory aids out there, mnemonics and ditties to try to remember all these, and they're all great. I really don't focus on trying to memorize all these. I focus on a couple key sections. So I know that the 1000 is military personnel. I know that the 5000 has to do with general administration, and then of course the 6000 has to do with medicine and dentistry. And you're going to find that most of the instructions we're asked about are going to fall within these three categories. So one of the instructions on our bib that has to do with the 1000 series military personnel is the instruction on pseudofolliculitis barbae. And that instruction is OpNav instruction 1022 Bravo. So if you pay attention to what this instruction is even about, it really doesn't talk about PFB as a medical condition, how to treat it, or anything like that. It's more focused on how to run the phases of care, the phases of a no-shave chit, and how to either get a permanent no-shave chit or administratively separate somebody because of this. So if somebody gets separated because of PFB, it's not a medical separation, it's an administrative separation because it's not considered a medical disability because you can just grow your facial hair out and the problem will be solved. So PFB is a 1000 instruction because it has to do with military personnel. So that makes it a 1000 instruction. Our general administration instruction that's on our bib when it comes to occupational knowledge is going to be the inspector general instruction. All right, and that's a BUMED instruction 5040 to Charlie. And then, of course, the majority of our instructions are going to be in the 6000 because we work medical, right? So what I find is important is if you take the medicine SSIC codes and you actually look and see what all the secondary numbers mean. All right, so what I mean by secondary is the number that comes right after the 6. So right here, anything with the 0, right? So 6000 to 6099, that will have to do with general administration. If we look at anything with the 61, right? So 6100 to 6199, that has to do with physical fitness. The biggest one for us, 62, right? 6200 to 6299. Well, that's preventative medicine. Any instruction that has to do with preventative medicine should be labeled 6200 something. 63, that has to deal with general medicine. 64, well, that's special fields. 66, that's dentistry. 67 through 6877, well, that has to do with equipment and supplies. So 60, all right, general administration. 61, physical fitness. 62, preventative medicine. 63, general medicine. 64, special fields. 66, dentistry. 67, equipment and supplies. So next, I take the instructions on the bib and just look and see what they fall under and try to remember which one of these categories that instruction would fall under. So looking at the instructions that are going to fall under our general admin, our 60, we've got the QA instruction. That's a BUMED instruction 60, right? That 60 means it's a general admin, 601013. Looking at our instructions that fall under the 61 series, right? The physical fitness. Well, we've got the deployment health assessment, right? This is an OpNav instruction 6100. Deployment health assessments fall under physical fitness. We've got the PHA instruction, and that's a SecNav instruction, and that's the 612030 alpha. This one means it falls under physical fitness, because what do we do on the PHA? We make sure that somebody's individual medical readiness is good to go, that they are fit, right? They're fit for deployment, they're ready to go. And then, of course, the PRT instruction. Well, that's an OpNav instruction, you know, because that's big Navy, but still, it has to do with physical fitness. So it is a 61 instruction. So just knowing that these three instructions fall under 61, I'm willing to bet if you get a question that says, what is the PRT instruction? If you know it falls under 61, right, two of your options are going to be 61. The next thing I would focus on is, well, looking at who publishes all these instructions. So if you keep in your mind that PHA is a SecNav instruction, deployment health and PRT are OpNav instructions, I'm willing to bet you'll be able to get the answer right. All right, so the biggest part of our bib when it comes to instructions is preventative medicine. So looking at a couple of our preventative medicines. Well, we've got the hospital-acquired infection, right? That instruction is about preventing people getting infections in the hospital, right? Preventative medicine. So it's a 62. The 2 makes it preventative medicine. Tuberculosis, right? Tuberculosis, 6224, 8 Bravo. Well, the 2, you know, that's what gives it, you know, that secondary number is what makes it preventative medicine. And we can even break it down into a tertiary. This additional 2, this has to do with communicable disease. And that's why we see another 2 on that hospital-acquired, in the hospital-acquired infection instruction, hospital-acquired infection, a communicable disease. So this third 2, right, this tertiary 2, not only, so the secondary 2, the secondary number makes it preventative med, the tertiary 2 makes it, you know, preventative med communicable disease. Immunization instruction, again, 62, right? 3 has to do with prophylaxis. Mercury control, BUMED instruction 62. Our regulated medical waste, BUMED instruction 6281 Bravo. And then our instruction on medical events reporting, right? Well, this is reporting on communicable diseases. So even this, right, Navy Marine Corps Public Health Center Technical Manual is a 6220.12. Most of our preventative medicine, as you can see, are going to be BUMED instructions. But like I said, if you know that PrevMed is always 62, you know these all have to do with preventative medicine, you're probably going to have a good shot at getting this one right without memorizing every number in the instruction. General admin, for our general admin, we have the primary care instruction, right? That's a BUMED instruction 6300.19, and this is all about medical home port. It's just about how to run primary care clinics in the Navy now. So that falls under general medicine. Special fields. Well, special fields, our instruction on that is HSAP. Well, what's the HSAP instruction all about? It's all about getting people ready to deploy with the Marine Corps. So 64, well, that's a special field. Like if we even look in the tertiary number of this, 64, 64 gives it special fields. The additional 4 amphibious gives you amphibious and field medicine. Well, this instruction is how to map people out to, you know, deploying Marine units. So that's why it falls under special fields. Dentistry, thankfully we don't have anything on that, but we do have something to do with equipment and supplies. We have the AMOL, ADOL instruction, and that's our 67 instruction. And so that's why we get BUMED instruction 6700. And then on this last page here, I just got rid of the green background, and you can just print this out, and it won't eat all the color out of your printer, and hopefully it'll show up okay. All right, well, that's what I got on SSICs. I hope it helps out.